And on this episode of The Delusions Never End, we have this from Collider. Shalabal, being the Silver Surfer in the MCU, is actually more perfect than you know. Now, if you don't know who Shalabal is, that's the new Silver Surfer. Oh, I'm so sorry. That is the historically, biblically accurate Silver Surfer who just so happens to be a female, but not the cool one, Norrin Rad, the one that, everybody knows. This is the C minus D character that was only in, I would imagine, only a few issues. No one remotely cared about her. I remember when whatever I forget this woman's name. I don't even care. The woman from Ozark. When it was announced that she was playing the Silver Surfer, people were like, "Why did you why did you gender swap the Silver Surfer?" And all these people came out and said, "No, no, 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 no. Here's a comic book that she was in. Yes, yes. You guys just aren't Marvel fans. No, we like the cool stuff." Ironheart wasn't a character that they just created. Ironheart had her own series of comic books. I believe there were only, like, not even a dozen issues. Flopped horribly, no one cared. But yes, you are correct. Shalabat over here and Ironheart were Marvel characters that were in the comic books. Doesn't mean you should use them. In fact, it shows how little you should actually touch these characters because no one cares about them. But as usual, Collider, infinite wisdom, pretty much here's how you could understand Collider in a nutshell. If you think it's stupid, Collider thinks it's great. If it's a terrible idea and it doesn't make money and it flops in the box office and everyone hates it and it ruins the lore and it attacks the fans, Collider has to say how much they love it. Can you imagine that for a second? Look at the MCU right now. How absolutely ridiculous she looks as the Silver Surfer, and then coming out to say, yes, it's not just good, it's actually more perfect than you know. Okay, there is a reason why Collider is not a film industry. And wouldn't that be the funniest thing? Wouldn't that just be the most hysterical thing if all these places would literally put their money where their mouth is and go out there and produce films that they're shilling for this entire time? They'd go bankrupt in a month. They would lose all of their money instantly. Let's talk about this article for a second. We have some quotes from Julia Gardner here. She's the one playing the Silver Surfer, if you didn't know. When finding out about it, she says, I knew about some of the famous comic book characters, some of them I didn't know. Why do you insist on hiring people that have no idea anything about your product? And also, before she did this interview, wouldn't you think you'd go out of your way and not sound like you have no idea what you're talking about? Wouldn't you want to say, yes, I've heard of this character before? Upon hearing about the role, I did nothing but read every single piece of literature about this character, learned every single thing I had to know about her, so I can make sure when I do this role, it's going to be exactly what the Marvel fans like. No, she had no idea. She only knows the famous comic book characters. Isn't that funny that the famous Silver Surfer is the one you're not playing? It's just the gender swapped one they did for some unbeknownst reason. Probably because they're like, hey, you know what? Let's just make him a female. She goes on to say, wait, what? Me? Yeah, I was in disbelief. Almost because it was so cool. The idea of the Silver Surfer being a woman has its roots in the comics. I don't believe for a single solitary second that anyone at Collider has any idea who this woman is. I don't think anyone at Collider has ever said Shalabal is a worthwhile character that should be explored on the live action. But even as I say that, I'm reading this in real time. It says Shalabal did become a Silver Surfer in the Earth X limited series. Limited series. Okay. So you had the option between two Silver Surfers. One of them everyone knows and the other one in a limited series. And you chose the one in the limited series. That right there is the MCU in a nutshell right now. You could have done it. I just sound, I'm so annoyed just hearing myself say this. You could have done it right. Julia Garner is not the top of Hollywood right now. I did the a reaction to her upcoming movie Weapons, the trailer of that. Looks like a great movie. Don't get me wrong. Looks like a fantastic movie. I don't think she's that great. And I really think Hollywood every few years says, okay, this is going to be your year. She is being pushed in Hollywood right now, and they're going to see if she could draw any money whatsoever. I don't think it's going to happen. Maybe for Weapons. Don't get me wrong. It looks like I said, it looks like a fantastic horror movie. Obviously made by the worst director of all human history, the guy that directed Barbarian. But you know what? Everyone gets a mulligan every now and then. But back to this and Julie Garner. I don't think it's gonna work out. I think Pedro Pascal has run his mouth way too much over the last few months, calling out every single person in the world that has a different opinion other than his own, as he calls for unity and all this other garbage right there. No. Limited series Earth X comic, uh, Shalabal over here is not going to be the de facto Silver Surfer going forward. Isn't it amazing how great the Silver Surfer movie was? The Fantastic Four movies back then. They were so much fun, so entertaining, so much replay value. I mean, right now I'm seeing a ton of memes from those movies showing up now because people remembered, hey, this is when Marvel was fun. This is when I enjoyed Marvel. We didn't need to have this super connected universe to have fun with it. We could have two movies that made us laugh, made us feel something, entertained us, and will forever stay in our brain. And I wouldn't be surprised on Disney Plus when this new Fantastic Four movie comes out. The first and second one will be worldwide trending on their platform. I believe more people are going to see those movies now than the new one coming out that's going to cost Disney a gargantuan amount of money. And they know it. At this point, I do wonder. Just Bob Iger sitting in his throne at the top of the world right now, just sitting back going, yeah, yeah, we're kind of screwed here, guys. We got nothing going. Lilo and Stitch looks good. Don't get me wrong. Lilo and Stitch looks fantastic because it looks just like the original cartoon movie. But this right here, you had my interest in the beginning, and then what happened? The actors and actresses started running their mouths. They started talking about the product, talking about feminism and masculinity and womanizing and diversity, all this crap like that. And all you're doing is hurting yourselves. I mean, what a golden opportunity it is to be in the Fantastic Four and then just ruin it on your own. Amazing. Goes on to say Garner has hinted the Fantastic Four first steps will actually delve more into Shalabal's motives for serving Galactus. Bro, we did this. We did this already in the Silver Surfer movie. You understand? This is how you can tell Collider doesn't know a single solitary thing about the Silver Surfer. Because the other movie explained why he serves Galactus. Oh, so we're just gonna run it back. That's what they're saying right now. We are just gonna do the exact same thing again. She said she's the Herald of Galactus, so she works for Galactus. A human being wrote that. I'll read that again. She is the Herald of Galactus, so she works for Galactus. You don't even know what a herald is, do you? What are the qualifications for working at this place? I don't know. Moving on. But you're not sure where she stands. It's pretty simple. Galactus told her, hey, do this for me or I'll destroy your planet. That's what they did with the other one. Work for me or I'll destroy everything you know and love. Does she stand with her boss? Obviously, shut up. Or is she just doing what she's told? I'm not pausing for dramatic effect here. I'm pausing because I don't know what to say. Again, I don't believe a single solitary person that works at Collider actually knows anything about Marvel. And it shows with just a few sentences here. That implies that Shalabal will have similar struggles as Norin, especially if she's not fully on board with Galactus' mission to devour worlds. So the character of Norrin Rad, that's what we're doing here. She's doing literally the exact same thing as him. It also gives her a complexity that other MCU antagonists lack, which is more than welcome. I don't think anyone writing this or works here is actually going to see them. That's the worst part about it, is that they shill for these things, and then all they do is defend, but don't really give a reason why. That's a brain rot that is remarkable to see these days. It's like the people defending The Last of Us. Like, oh, Bella Ramsey's great. No, she's not. She's terrible. She's absolutely terrible, and you know it. But you can't admit it. That's the problem. That is the hole that Collider is in right now. And I do wonder that. I do wonder if anyone over there realistically believes this, or do they say, okay, well, our audience is, blue-haired feminists, so, this is what we have to write articles for. Don't combat people in the comment section. Just praise the glowing comments and just write these articles, write this crap out there. And you know what? I honestly question if this site is nothing but more than clickbait. I realistically wonder that. Is this a site that just says, okay, we need to write the cringiest clickbaity thing we can possibly find? Yes, let's see. I'll defend the new Fantastic Four Silver Surfer female from the limited series that no one knows or cares about or has ever read. Perfect. Print. But here's the end of this article. It says, changes come with adaptations, and it's often a double-edged sword. The right change can play into the elements that make a comic character beloved, but the wrong can change and alienate fans old and new. Yes, that's the problem. That's what we're telling these industries. You're making changes that the fans don't want. You're making changes for people that aren't going to consume your product. Thankfully, making Shalabal the Silver Surfer leans towards the former. This movie's dead in the water. Isn't it kind of bad that I want it to fail? Is it kind of bad that seeing the box office plummet of companies like this and products that like Collider is shilling for, I like watching it fail because it's not even like a matter of being right. Obviously, I know I'm right. I mean, I don't have to be a Rachel Zegler narcissist to say out loud, yes, I am right about this. We all know we're right. It's just, I kind of hope they lose enough money that they eventually just turn this thing around. And, I have another article coming out about Bob Iger, though. He's admitting, yeah, we screwed up, guys, which is insane to admit out loud. But yes, the Silver Surfer leans towards the former. It's ripe with dramatic potential, and Garner has proven herself to be an amazing actress. No, she hasn't. With projects like The Assailant, what the hell is The Assailant? And Ozark, yes, Ozark, where her entire character was just screaming at the top of her lungs. I think she was more unhinged than Zoe Sandusky Deschanel from Avatar. They those are the two characters. Their traits is just scream at the top of your lungs continuously, and that counts as acting. Unbelievable. But yeah, to put a cherry on top of this thing, I think this was one of the dumbest things you could have possibly done. Going into the bottom of the barrel for a Silver Surfer when you already have the one that everyone likes. And as usual, the CGI looks terrible. I know it was only a second trailer, but is this what the final product's gonna look like? She just looks terrible. But you know what? We could go on this for hours, but in the end, man, what do you guys think about that?
Long live sacred Germany, though traitor I be. I'll serve the people, now tyranny. A price on my head, but my conscience is clear. Only God can judge me here. For the lies unafraid.